Hello to all and welcome to a new program of Unlock Clarity. This is Alejandro Bratti and William B. Isley from Unlock Clarity, and welcome to the Spanglish World Networks on Single TV channel 250. Please remember to download both the Single TV app on the respective app stores, iOS or Android devices. When you download, make sure to rate and leave a comment. The app is free and is available in Google Chromecast, Amazon Fire, Roku, and all smart TVs. Today we continue to be happy with this topic. We have been changing ourselves in this process of preparing, teaching, and doing everything that we are doing here. So, if you are listening in any of the social media or in the TV live, we would love to hear from you and say hi. If you are listening later, even a message will be awesome to hear from you too. So, welcome. How are you, William, today?
I'm doing well. Doing well. How about you?
I'm doing well. Today was a busy day with the kids and the family, but everything is business as usual. So, uh, working a lot and I'm enjoying at the end, really.
Something about being a father of two and working an almost full time job. I've heard rumors that's a challenge, to put it mildly.
Exactly. And learning about all this stuff and doing the whole business, yeah. So it's interesting. Let's put it like that. Interesting, and but really that's why when I was saying that this series of From Surviving to Thriving that we are doing here is helping me is also because it's like, oh, fine, there is another area that I need to work on and continue moving from surviving to thriving. And that's a very good tip here. Sometimes we see our life as a whole, like, and it's like, okay, I feel that I am in the thriving mode as a whole, but there can be also areas, specific areas that, yeah, but don't ask me about my wife because maybe that's a not thriving area, or about my kids, or about my hobbies. That's an area that I am in survival mode because I am not putting any attention there. Okay, and listen well. I was asking even or telling even hobbies. That's part of being in the surviving or thriving because that's part of who you are. So, understanding that, you can apply all the techniques and everything that we have been talking until now in specific areas. So that's why for me this is amazing.
Definitely.
So, in the last few episodes, we explore self-awareness, emotional processing, some daily rituals, self-compassion, and also clarifying your vision. And these are really crucial elements in that journey of moving from surviving to thriving.
And as we all know, having a clear vision is one thing, actually bringing it to life is another. It's easy to get overwhelmed by the gap between where we are and where we want to be, especially when we're still surviving and
Mhm.
we're still in that survival mode. Because if to this point you've gotten this far and you feel like you're thriving more than not, your brain might still be in survival mode. Yay.
And that's really why today we are going to focus in something that we believe is really powerful for everybody, and it starts again with us. It's really powerful, and it's about the bridge between ease and consistency. We are talking about, like, okay, we want to reach big goals because that's the reason I am listening to William and Alejandro. I want to reach really success in my life in a big way. Awesome. everything starts with a small, sustainable step. So if you don't start, that dream is going to stay as a dream forever. But if you start to do even small steps, but sustainable, you are going to start to find something that we are going to talk amazing today, that is the compounding effect.
Yeah. And so often, when we think about making changes or pursuing the big goals, we think we need to take massive, dramatic action. We feel that we need to overhaul our entire lives overnight, or else it doesn't count. And yet, I want you to remember something important. The journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step, it ends with one more. So, if you're taking one more step and you're taking one more step and you've only gone 100 steps, you're not going to feel like you've gone very far. But after 1,000, after 2,000, after 5,000 steps, you can really see a difference. And for
And,
me, with ADHD, consistency is the C word. So, anyway, go ahead, Alejandro.
and really, that's something that I love. And really, you are seeing here two really human beings learning about this and also teaching about this. Uh, the transformation happens first with awareness, and that's something that we talked before. But only having the awareness doesn't change anything. You need to start to do a small incremental changes over time, and that's something like, okay, what is a good and new thing that you can add right now? What is something that can change the habit that you have about this? How you can add to the good habits that you already have? So that is really powerful. So the daily choices and habits that we have compound to create remarkable results.
In this particular episode, we want to explore how you can harness the power of small, consistent actions to build momentum towards your thriving life. We will discuss strategies for staying motivated, overcoming roadblocks, and appreciating your progress along the way. Yay!
And a good thing, and we also always try to do this and talk about this, is it doesn't matter if you are on a business owner and you're starting a business, or you are starting a business, or you only want to improve your health or deepen your relationships, or really achieve a lifelong dream. The principles that we are discussing today here really help you to move forward with clarity, confidence, and energy.
So, if you're ready to break free from the overwhelm of survival mode and begin taking these empowered steps toward that vision of thriving, this episode, as well as the rest of them, are for you. Let's dive in.
Have you ever looked at a massive oak tree and marvel at its size and strength? It's hard to believe it started from a tiny, tiny acorn, isn't it?
Yeah, I have some massive oak trees out my front door. So, and the thing is, that's the power of compounding in action. Small, consistent actions repeated over time can lead to extraordinary results.
And again, if we move to another area, like we start to put away $5 per day, it seems like, okay, $5 is something very simple to do. Or maybe it's not that much. Like what I can do with $5 is like, yeah, I can buy maybe a Starbucks coffee if depending on the place that you are. Some places are even the prices are higher. But over a year, that $5 per day becomes 800,
1800.
1800, sorry, and over a decade becomes 18,000. And if you continue, and it's like it was only $5, uh, and And that's only thinking about the $5. If you invest that money wisely, the compounding effect of the interests over those 18,000 starts to get even bigger. So really, that's part of what we are talking here.
And as I've noticed multiple times over the last 4 decades, the same principle applies to our personal growth and our goal achievements. Those small daily actions, they don't feel significant in the moment. And over time, they add up to massive transformation. The things I've been
And
working on for the last 10 years are compound interest, and they're finally paying off. And boom, here I am. And I'm going, wow, this is awesome. Oh, that's how I got here.
exactly. And there is like sometimes, and I am talking from like to myself right now, but sometimes it's like when I am working, I focus because I want to focus, and I finish one job. I It's like, oh, I was productive, and that's okay. That's something that I also teach, and I can show you tips of how to do it. But for example, writing a book, you can think that planning a day to write one page is too much, and it's like, no, I can, or it's too little. Like I can plan to do that in a minute. Like, but if you write one page every single day for a year, you will have a book of 365 pages. So that's really a big book, not a middle-sized book.
Exactly. And I've actually done that many years ago. I wrote just a little bit every day and ended up with a decent sized book, published it. So, yeah, that's not, for me, that's not just an example. That's something I lived. Yeah. Now, if you want to improve your fitness, do the same thing. Short workouts, brisk walk every day. And the goal is for it not to feel like a big deal. Over time, though, those daily actions, they compound to create big improvements in your health and your well-being.
So the key here, really, for these things to happen is not only the first step. The first step is important, but the key is really consistency. That we are doing it every single day. Uh, and that's why we are not pushing you or telling you, okay, do a big change in your life so you are going to see big results in your life. No, start with the first step, but do it consistently. Does that mean? um, so at the end, that's the key. It's like, and we are talking about small steps, even imperfect steps. And I am talking to the perfectionist here. Like, I have been for a long time a perfectionist. Like, no, this is not a step because this is completely imperfect. And that's something that meet with William every Friday. And sometimes we are like, okay, we were supposed to have this because we are planning this in our business. And I did some work, but because I didn't do the whole work, I feel like, no, how we are going to talk about that, because I didn't do all the work. And it's like, no, the imperfect works also works. It's part of the process.
A thing that I get to live with, a mantra that I get to live with is done is better than perfect, because I can set and plan out how to make it perfect for the rest of my life. And it will never make its presence known in the physical world. Done is better than perfect. And this is especially important when we're in survival mode. When we're overwhelmed, stressed, facing challenges, The idea of making big changes is pretty much feels impossible. However, we can always manage a small step, no matter what we're dealing with. And that's the thing. Even if we're shuffling, even if we're making a millimeter or an inch at a time, that's progress.
Yes. So taking those small steps consistently starts to create momentum. And that's a word that I know that lately is very common and everybody's like, oh, I want momentum in my life because that's when things start to happen. Okay, momentum happens when you start to do small steps, but not only small steps, but you do them consistently. It's very different. It's like, and there are a lot of things, like, for example, doing exercise. I was one of the guys that was doing like, okay, I haven't done exercise for the last week, so I'm going to spend 2 hours right now doing exercise. And I can drain all my energy doing that, but I felt like, okay, I did really 2 hours of exercise. Of course, that's much better than nothing. But what we are talking here is if you do 15 minutes or 20 minutes every day, it's much better than 2 hours once per week. So that's part of what we are talking. So and the good thing of the 50 minutes is like it's something reachable. We start to prove ourselves that change is possible. Like, yeah, if I have to think that I need to do 2 hours of exercise every single day,
No.
I won't even start because it's impossible. I don't have time to do that. But 15 minutes per day is very reasonable and I can do it. So I start to do it and suddenly I start to feel like, oh, what is happening with my body or what is happening with my muscles? And it's like, I am feeling better today. So with those changes, suddenly you start to feel like the momentum, you feel capable of transforming, and you start to see that that is happening. So after that starts to become a momentum, suddenly you will see like, okay, but I can do 30 minutes. I don't need to stay only 15 minutes. And because I feel the momentum coming and I can do even 40 minutes later, but or 1 hour. But everything started with one step and doing it consistently.
Yeah. And I have a routine I've been doing at the bedside where I sit on the bed or I'm up against the wall or something. I don't even need to go to a gym. I have a routine that's about 30 minutes that I do stretching and strengthening that I've done for over 25 years now. And so yeah, it's that one step at a time kind of thing. So then here's an important piece. If you have a large goal or a vision and you're feeling overwhelmed with it, remember the power of compounding. If you break that down into the smallest possible actions that you can take every day, trust that those actions taken consistently every day, they will lead you to extraordinary places. And going back to what you were saying earlier, try to be consistently good instead of occasionally great. And then that's where this comes in. It's like there are days when I don't really have time to wake up or to work out or something. And I wake up late. And so I will do 10 minutes of of the least necessary to be stretched and whatever. And then the next day I'll add in more or something, but it's just something. My father passed over at 93 because he kept moving every day.
Exactly. Exactly. And at the end, that's we are it's great. We are teaching all the time, for example, about meditation. That's something that we love to do. And we are preparing even a program with William about meditation, moving, and other type of things that are really cool. But sometimes we think that that's all the thing that I need. Of course, meditation is really good, but if you don't exercise, you don't move, your
Yeah,
body is like, okay, what happened here? It's like I am supposed to move. I was created to move, and you are staying sitting the whole day, or sleeping, or I don't know. So that's why this is important. So we are going to enter another area that is key also when we are talking about this momentum that we are creating, and is identifying the motivator that we have, and also the saboteurs. Uh, because when we are aware that they exist and they are even in our health, not outside, but inside of our health, and there are one that is saying, yeah, Alejandro, do it, because it's amazing what you are creating, the momentum that you're creating, continue doing it. But at the same time, but remember that last night you slept late, so you need to stop because you are going to burn out if you continue this way. So we have the saboteur like with amazing ideas, and the motivator maybe with amazing, depending on how much, where you are putting your attention. So that's important to get clear on those two guys, and start to be aware who are you giving your power away.
exactly. It's like every the old Indian wisdom. Everyone has two wolves: the white wolf, the black wolf, the good wolf, the bad wolf, whatever. And the little boy says, "Which one wins?" And the old man says, "Which one do you feed?" So
Exactly. That's
yeah. So as we start talking about this journey of taking small, sustainable steps towards our thriving life, it's very important to understand the forces that can either propel us forward or hold us back. And we're talking about the motivators, the ones that get us out of bed, or the saboteurs, the ones that keep us depressed and in bed.
so motivators. What do we want to talk about this? They are things that are inspiring us. So, what are things that inspire us? Like, okay, for me, learning new things is something that helped me to get inspired. Like, okay, I already know how to do this, but what if there is another way to do it? Start to practice that, start to do it. That makes me motivator. I know that part of some of the people that I'm coaching is like, oh, you know what? Dancing is a motivator for me. When I am down, if I start to dance, I put some music, and it can be salsa, it can be merengue, it can be whatever you like. But if makes you move and start to feel the beat, suddenly it's like, okay, what I was depressed for is like, I don't remember. It was because some situation, or what was it? So that's why motivators are really important. So, what are the things that moves you, that keep you alive, that you will do even if nobody's paying you, even if nobody's seeing you? What are the things that fire you and give you the energy that you need? Because if you find out what are they, and that's why hobbies are really important, because normally hobbies are motivators. And if you don't have a hobby because you haven't done any hobby for the last 20 years, start to see what things did you like when you were a kid. So, because they become reasons for you to make changes. Like, okay, I am feeling happy. I want to make changes. I want to do that small step that I decided to do. And you start to pursue the goals that you have.
Exactly. So, saboteurs, on the other hand, are the things that drain us and discourage us and make us want to give up. They're the obstacles, both internal and external, that stand in the way of progress.
And this is really important. When I am well, when we are working with clients, normally one of the questions when we are talking about something that they would really want to reach, and we are talking here about things that you want to reach in your life, one of the question is going to be, for example, if there is something that can become an obstacle for that thing to become real. Yeah, you decided to do exercise. Awesome. Okay. What is one thing or two things or five things that can stop you to do that exercise? Oh, stress, waking up late, my kids, like start to name all of them. Okay, what are you going to do about them? Now that you are aware that they are obstacles, what are you going to do? Oh, with my kids, I'm going to do it at 5 a.m. so they are still sleeping. Okay, awesome. Do that. So you can do something about it if you name them. So that's why we are talking about here name the saboteur. What is their name? What is the thing that they are doing and why they have power? When you start to realize that, you can do something about it.
And that's what we've been talking about for months now, awareness. It all starts with awareness.
Exactly.
So then, unless you're driving or something, take a moment, grab pen, pencil, paper, digital, whatever, so that you can do this little exercise with us. So let's talk about motivators. Let's talk about what fires you up, what is like a good techno routine or salsa or merengue in your head, that thought just fires you up like that and gets you moving. And what gives you the energy and makes you excited to take that action? Is it the vision of your future self that is thriving and happy? Is it the impact that you came to this planet to make in the first place? Is it the joy, the satisfaction of pursuing your passions? So, what are the top three? It could be five, it could be 10. Aim for three. So, once you get these down, this is going to be your why. This is going to be the fuel that will keep you going when things get tough. And it's absolutely imperative to remember why you started doing something, or it won't continue.
So take the time, and even if it's a word, if it's a phrase, it's okay. And we have been talking about this now to help you to understand what we are saying. Uh, but these three motivators are key, and start to find it like, okay, this is a real why. Or if you don't feel that that's a why, okay, look for another one. But this is key for you to really start to make the changes that you want to have in your lives. And when you finish this, let's start with the saboteur.
So, as we discussed earlier, what drains your energy? What overwhelms you? What gives you that reason to give up? Is it self-doubt? Is it negative self-talk? And when I say negative self-talk, it's any thought that tells you in one form or a fashion that you suck, pond scum. Is it fear of failure or even fear of success? Is it external pressures? Is it distractions? Is it internal pressures or distractions?
So, and if we have anybody here that wants to write it in the chat or in the comments, even after we finish this call, it's okay. We would love to hear from you. If you want to say only your motivators but not your saboteurs, it's okay. But let me tell you something about the saboteurs. When you expose them, they lose power over you. So sometimes we don't want to say like, okay, guys, don't see that I have this saboteur that is this self-talk that is talking all the time wrong because I am the president of this thing. So I am not supposed to have these thoughts, but I have them. So when you open the door and it starts to be like honest with you and with others, suddenly the magic starts to happen. So that's why we are taking even this time of like, okay, stop, write, write the motivators and write the saboteurs. And if you don't want to put it in the social media, because no, of course, I don't want everybody to know about that. Awesome. Look for somebody who you want to share these things. Like, okay, your trusted friend. Like, you know, I know that you know all the good things and some of the bad things that I have, but I want to tell you exactly what is the things that I feel that are sabotaging myself. Open the door so they lose the power over you. If not, they continue like getting power and power and power and becoming like the reason why you don't succeed. So that's the reason this is key.
Yeah, some of those saboteurs of a phrase that I learned 30 years ago was a concept of mountain climbing molehills. We get all of our mountain climbing gear on and we walk up to this thing and we actually put in the effort and we find out it's this tall and we can step right over it. It was an interesting, life changing experience when I learned that one. Okay. So then, hmm. Yeah, I'm sure we all have common roadblocks that come up when we're trying to make changes and pursue goals. And I'm sure we've all found, well, I'm not going to say that. If we had found strategies, we would be thriving instead of surviving. So, hey. Um, hmm. Yeah, it's interesting.
And it's really I'm going to emphasize this like being it's really powerful and liberating when we start to face these challenges and realize that we have the power over those things that are stopping us if we believe it and we do something about it. First, as we are doing today, writing about them. Like, okay, I am going to put a name. I have procrastination, and that's something that is affecting me, and it's my saboteur because it's always telling me that today is not the day, tomorrow is going to be the day, and it's always tomorrow, and that tomorrow never comes. So, being aware of that help you to do something about it. Like, okay, that means that they are saying that small steps, Alejandro and William are saying that small steps do the change. I know that I always say tomorrow, today I will write this thing, even if it's 5 words, write them.
Exactly. So, on that note, let's move to a concept called easy wins. One of the best ways and the most effective ways to build momentum and stay motivated is to focus on easy wins, those small, achievable things that you can accomplish quickly and celebrate. Now, a key here is celebrate, because I grew up without that celebrate component. So, giving myself credit for the things that I've accomplished is a challenge because Living on a farm, it doesn't matter what you've done or what you accomplish, there's always something else that needs to be done or accomplished. And that was the frame of mind that my father lived in. There was no celebration over what we accomplished. So celebrate, damn it.
And that happens with everything. It can be in a farm, it can be in a corporate, it can be as a director. It doesn't matter where are you. But sometimes you're like, yeah, I know this was a good thing that the team accomplished, but there are these other 20 things that are still missing. So you stop celebrating. And it's like what happens when you are celebrating is your own subconscious is like, okay, I don't know what happened here, but I like it. So that's exactly the idea behind the celebration. It's like, I don't know what is happening. I don't understand why I am feeling so good. And even my body is creating all these hormones that are giving me happiness, but I like it. So when the subconscious realizes that it's something that it likes, helps you to have more of those things in a more consistent way. So the science behind this is compelling. Every time we achieve a goal, no matter how small, our brain releases dopamine. And that's why we are talking about small steps, because that dopamine is going to start even with the small steps, because you said that you were going to write something and you do it, even when it was 5 words, as we said before. So suddenly, like, oh, it was not that difficult. It was easy. I love it. So that neurotransmitter that we have inside our head associated with pleasure and reward start to release that dopamine. And this gives us the feeling of satisfaction and motivation. And that thing start to reinforce the behavior that lead to achievement.
And an important way to think of this, success breeds success. The more small wins that we have, the more confident and capable we feel, and the more likely we are to keep taking action.
So what are some examples of easy wins? So let's put it in action here, what we are talking. Of course, it depends on the goals that you have specifically. So you need to define them in order to have it. But we want to give you some ideas. For example, if you want to start a meditation practice, an easy win can be meditate for 1 minute per day. 1 minute. We're not saying you have 24 hours times 60 minutes, and we're saying only one. That's a very simple and easy way to start. I don't know how to do it. Okay, in YouTube there are millions of meditations that you can do, guided meditations, or you can close your eyes and only focus on your breathing, and that is going to help you to meditate. Uh, Another one, if your goal is to eat healthier, okay, what if you start to add more vegetables and start to eliminate some of the foods, like maybe uh, fried food that you're eating, for example. So, or more of the good stuff that you need. Some people need more meat, for example, instead of the vegetables. It's okay. But what is that thing that you can start to add or eliminate uh, at the dinner or every in one of the meals that you have? We started the other thing that we talked. Oh, you have the goal of writing a book. Awesome. The easy win will be start writing 10 minutes per day. Not even the page. If in those 10 minutes you write half of the page, it's okay. And if those 10 minutes you wrote 2 pages, it's okay. Don't judge, just do it and celebrate. And that's what we are saying here. And for example, another one, you want to improve your relationship. Okay, how you can start to think more about that person that you want to improve that relationship, maybe with your partner. What is a text that you can send that the other person is going to be like, oh, this is the first time I received this in 2 years, but I love it. Even if it's only a heart, an emoji, but something that will start to change everything.
Exactly. Remember, make these wins easy so that they're achievable. Oh yeah, easy and so achievable that you can't fail. I mean, set the bar low, then celebrate every time you hit it. Be uh, be consistently good instead of occasionally great. I mean, set your yeah, I love this. Set your bar low so that way if you're stepping over it every day, hey, you're stepping forward. He's good.
And if you like games, do create a game about it and even put some numbers like, okay, each time that you have an easy win, you put a point, and you can check in the whole week how many points you achieved during that week. So make it fun. At the end, it's not about like, oh, I have to do this because they unlock clarity is telling me that this is the only way to really thrive. No, make it something that you can love, you can enjoy. It's fun. It's enjoyable.
Some people have this standard of if it's not a hell yes, it's a no, then I'm not going to do it. In terms of like projects with other people or even projects with themselves. And so I've heard rumors that that works rather well for these people. So, hey, it's an option. Something else to remember, these easy wins, they're not the end goal. They're the building blocks. They're the stepping stones that create the path to the thriving life. By focusing on these goals, you're training your brain to associate your goals with pleasure and reward. You're building the habit of consistent action. Yay!
So we are getting to the last part, the conclusions. We learn a lot of things today, and as you move forward on your journey from surviving to thriving, remember that every small step counts. Every action you take, every choice you make is shaping your life and your future. So it's everything. Even the choice of not doing that small step is a choice. You are taking that choice. Even the choice of not taking a decision, it's a choice. So that is shaping your life and is shaping your confidence or is destroying your confidence. So at the end here, we are talking that you have the power to create the confidence that you want.
Trust in the power of consistency and persistence, even when you can't see the results easily. Remember that next step, and you take a step and you take a step. Even after 100, it's hard to tell you've made any difference, like when you're outside walking. But after 1,000 steps, it's kind of easy. Just know that your efforts are compounding. You're creating that ripple effect that does manifest in incredible ways.
And something key when we are talking about really achieving your big goal that you have, why you are starting with these small steps is you keep your vision of your thriving life close to your heart. And it's like, okay, this is going to happen. Because if you are thinking about that 1 minute per week and the rest of the week you are thinking about like you're not going to succeed because you are too lazy and you have the procrastination as the title here in your face, uh, of course you are not going to make it. But if you start to really believe, like, okay, one step at a time, but I will do it. And I can do one step every single day, not 1 million steps per day, one step per day. And that is going to start to help you, start to guide you. Maybe you start with one, in a few weeks you tell me, about Alejandro, I can do 10 and I can do them consistently. Okay, awesome. Start to do the 10. And then suddenly in a few months you are like, okay, 10 is not enough. I am going to 100. Awesome. But start with the first and one. And another thing that we were telling, but it's really key here, is find joy in every single win. Those little moments becomes an inspiration for you.
They do. You are the creator of your reality. With every small step, you are shaping your life into a masterpiece. Keep going, keep growing, keep believing in your power to thrive.
So 5 action steps before we finish. The first one, create your win list. Like write down a small list of achievable goals that you can work toward each week or day. So this week I am aiming for these 5 things. Small wins. I am not talking about big wins. Small wins, things that can change and make them so easy that you can fail. And that's key because you are creating your confidence and you are recreating yourself. So they are so easy that you can fail.
But you want to remember that they're
And
meaningful. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, and it's important to realize that they are meaningful, because it's like, okay, yeah, it's easy that I do one step, but that doesn't mean anything. Like, okay, I pick up my this thing and I have it here. Yeah, but if it doesn't mean anything for you, so it has to be meaningful for what you want in the larger vision. If you want to have health, okay, doing the 10 steps is going to be a very good thing because you are moving yourself and you start to commit to check as many times as possible.
And number two, set up a reward system. Ooh, this sounds good. Decide on a reward system for yourself so that you can celebrate your easy wins and keep your motivation high. It could be a small treat, a favorite activity, or a self care practice you enjoy. Give yourself the reward each time you achieve a certain number of easy wins. Oh, wow. Can't do it every time. Okay.
Also, the environment is key. So, how you are designing your place. If you're in a place that it's completely disorganized or cluttered, at the end, that's where you are going to start to attract. So, how you can start to declutter your area? How is the environment in your house, in your workspace, in your phone, even in your phone? Like if you have clutter your phone, of course some things are not working. Yeah.
However, there are some of us who thrive better in a lived in environment, which you might call cluttered. So it comes down to an inspiring environment. So if you need 15 plushies on your desk so that you can fiddle with one as you're thinking about the next step, go for it. But the draining environment, that's got to go. Whether it's the clutter part or the non-inspiring clutter, I'll I'll let you have it back now.
No, no, I love it, and it's like, for example, also I love to have phrases around me and even some symbols that represent what I want. I have one of infinity because I really love infinity, and that's something that I am looking for. Like, okay, I know that we have infinite power, we have infinite energy, we have infinite knowledge inside of us. So I have an infinite here that is telling me all those things all the time. Uh, I have even my kid bought me this little thing that it's just telling me like, okay, I have a goal that I need to reach, and I will put the other eye when that goal is reached. Uh, and that it's little things that are remembering you, uh, and it's inspiring me for me here.
Exactly. Now, for us loners, this could be a challenge. Find an find an accountability partner. Share your goals. Now, accountability partner is not someone who tears you down every day, every time you tell them something. We want someone who's going to help you with this, okay? Share your goals and your easy win list with a trusted friend, family member, or community member if you're part of a community. Some of us, people who are high achievers and stuff, are mostly loners. So, yeah, go for that. And ask them to check in with you regularly and celebrate your progress. And having someone to be accountable to can be a powerful motivator, although it's not always necessary.
So, and the last one, reflect and adjust. At the end of each week, take a few minutes to reflect. Okay, how was it this week? Celebrate your wins, no matter how small. Like, okay, from the 10 that I decided, I only had one. Celebrate that one and start to notice what is not working, why is not working, and what is working, why that is working. And if something is not working, don't judge. Just adjust your approach and change the way you are doing it. You are going to find a way. And if you need help, here we are to help you. So you can write to info@unlockclarity.com. William or myself, we can help you in this process. Uh, we hope these strategies and action steps support you in taking consistent, empowered actions toward your thriving life. We are in the last few weeks of this program of thriving, surviving to thriving, and we are really enjoying this process for you and with you.
We believe in you and your ability to create a life beyond your wildest imaginings. Keep shining, keep striving, and keep savoring the journey. The best is yet to come. I promise.
So this show can also be heard on the Spanglish Radio Network. Please check out spanglishworld.ca for the news and programming. Spanglish World, watch it, hear it, read it, download it, and leave it. Thank you, William, and thank you all. See you next time.